Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon and Rising. And Saggy, this is your weekly intuitive tarot reading for March 16th to the 22nd. This week we've got the Boundaries Oracle card. We have the Three of Pentacles, the Hermit, the Ten of Wands, Ace of Swords, Judgment and the Page of Swords. So some interesting energies, and the first thing that came to mind, even before the Judgment card came out, is, that whole threes party energy, but in particular, maybe in the workplace. I keep hearing that, too many cooks in the kitchen kind of thing. We definitely have that coming to a head here with the Judgment card. Some kind of awakening, some kind of, something trying to get your attention to bring this to light, because we do have endings here and new beginnings. So it's really time to, draw that line in the sand, to hold your boundaries as somebody has been crossing it. Alright, Saggy, so I'm just going to read out the Oracle card and then we'll go to the Tarot. So where do you need to establish better boundaries? You're being called to create clearer boundaries in your life. This could be with your friends, family or work. Saying yes when you really mean no leads to resentment, which is the biggest energy drain ever. At first, it might only be a little bit and not feel like a big deal, but before you know it, your energy field becomes porous and you're left feeling depleted, resentful or taken advantage of. Saying no and having clear boundaries is actually a spiritual act. The most giving, loving, compassionate people are those with the clearest boundaries, for when they say yes, they are able to give unconditionally. When your boundaries are clear, others know where they stand and you are able to give freely. If you are not clear where your boundaries lie, this causes confusion, resentment and energetic cause to be planted. Yeah, Saji, so I guess, it's your opportunity to ask yourself, where you might have been crossing the boundaries. Where have you been maybe being agreeable, going along with others' agenda, saying yes when you mean no. Maybe it's in the workplace where, you can't say no to your boss or manager and they just keep on, adding to your workload. That can be a real issue. It can be, too many people here. I'm also feeling in the workplace trying to vie for attention, trying to compete with each other. I am definitely feeling that. Trying to, those that are the loudest and the most manipulative, getting ahead. I wouldn't outrule, a three-party situation in relationships as well. Somebody out on the outskirts, whether it's an ex, trying to get the attention of one of the partners, or a partner, seeing somebody else, or emotionally playing with someone else through messaging and that kind of thing. But with the Judgment card here, I really feel that this is the last call on that situation. It's really coming to a head this week. There is a big sense of awakening with the Judgment energy. So you may not have been aware of what was going on, if it was something on an underlying current. And if so, then Judgment definitely brings that to your attention. Or if you were definitely aware of this situation, this is where it kind of comes to a head. It comes out in the open. It comes out to be clear. Because I think, the situation has definitely an element of negativity about it that could have been keeping you small, keeping you, feeling confined like these people too. Judgment comes in as that wake-up call. It comes in as that card of second chances. Is there anything to be salvaged from the situation, or is it really time for you to let it go and to move in a different direction? Now we have the Ten of Wands in this reading, which is definitely a card of release or ending. It can be a card of being overburdened. So I'm really feeling that some of you have been very heavily burdened by the situation. Workplace does stand out for me more than relationships, guys. I think some of you have been in an unfair situation where you might have been either loaded with work or, in some way taking the strain of it, carrying the group, carrying the others, that kind of thing, or being hard done by where, your ideas aren't being heard or others are speaking up over top of you, that sort of thing. So Judgment's the energy that really brings this out in the open for some kind of resolution. And I think that resolution is going to be some kind of completion of that situation, because we have the Ten of Wands here, and the Ten of Wands is an ending. And it's the ending of something that has been quite troublesome, has been a burden, has been that weight on your shoulders, can be too much responsibility, too much workload, that has, maybe burnt you out, made you tired or fatigued, even lead to illness, that kind of thing. And what I always notice about the Ten of Wands is that through carrying this weight, carrying this burden, I mean, this person's vision here is very blocked by that. So, when we're really stressed by a situation that occupies a lot of energetic space for us, we absolutely can't either attract new beginnings, or we couldn't see new opportunities even if they were in front of us. So once you release the situation by stepping away from it, that might just involve having a clear conversation with some other people. Some of you may even need to leave that job, or change into a different team, or secondment, that sort of thing, or even leave the workplace for a few of you. But through doing that, you're really going to open up your vision. You're going to be, releasing that weight so that there's space for all sorts of other things to happen. I mean, if this person here was to put down this heavy load of wands, he or she would see that there wasn't just one path from work to home. There might have been all sorts of other paths where there could have been people to meet, things to see, new opportunities arise along the way. But this person's been on autopilot because there's no energetic resources left for anything else. So yeah, I do see an ending, guys. I really do. And then we have the Hermit, which is really a period of retreating inwards to try and understand what might have gone down in this situation. The Hermit goes inside to seek internal wisdom, and I like to think of it too as going within to kind of join the dots and to gain that hindsight. And sometimes it's not until we're on the outside, looking back at a situation and we're not involved in it energetically anymore, that we can see why it played out as it did and where that might have been leading us. Even if it felt negative at the time, there might have been a key life lesson in it, or it might have been guiding you to this Ace of Swords, right? Because if that situation hadn't have gone down, you wouldn't have left the job, left the role, and then this opportunity wouldn't have come in. So it's kind of like that butterfly effect. So I feel like through this Hermit energy, after this ending, you might need to take some self-reflection time, take a few days off. Some of you might need to, take more time off if you're in between opportunities. But it's a time for you to reflect, to heal, to nurture yourself. With the Hermit energy too, this could have been going on for quite a while. The situation, maybe 9 months with the Hermit energy. So yeah, the idea is that, the Hermit has the link to the star energy, which of course is, a rebirth. This is you kind of, going inwards to kind of release the old and to heal. And the more that star energy, burns in that lantern, the more the path forward out of this is revealed. But it's a process. It's a slow process with the Hermit energy. So it's not an overnight thing. It might be a little bit of a healing journey for you. But the more you seek, the more you understand, the more you heal, the more the path forward opens up for you. And there'll be that kind of tipping point where you'll know it's time to kind of come back to the world, to, get back out there. And that's when I feel this opportunity is going to come in for you. Page of Swords and Ace of Swords. So for me, the Page of Swords is that wind of change. That's you getting back that wind in your sails again after that period of time of retreat. And of course, we have the beautiful Ace of Swords here, which is a breakthrough, a new beginning, a new idea, a whole new direction. It could be with this combination here. So yeah, the Ace of Swords is also a strong card of victory. There could have been a victory to be won. Wouldn't even rule out legally for some of you if this situation was serious. So there's a victorious new beginning. There's a coming of power, coming back into your sense of energy and enthusiasm, feeling, young and inspired again. The Page of Swords can be a messenger as well. So this new opportunity could come through an interaction with a younger person, potentially of air sign. So that would be Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. Doesn't have to be, but it could be somebody that embodies those kinds of energies. So there is going to be, I see, a quick shift, getting your wind back in your sails, and then fast progress with this new beginning. So Swords is the suit of the intellect. So it can just be that strong, powerful new idea. Some of you might be going into business by yourself, or going contracting or something like that after leaving this job. It can be that kind of thing. It's quite an intellectual energy. But either way, the sword, Ace of Swords is the first card in the sword suit, guys. So It is pure potential. It is the seeds of possibility. But like any seeds that we plant, we need to nurture, grow, and love them in order to expand them, in order for them to sprout. So you'll need to, take the action. The Page of Swords can definitely help you do that, give you the energy to do that. Things don't just arrive on silver platters. We can't just, lay back on our laurels and expect them to come in. So that's the advice there. If the opportunity comes in, then you need to recognize it and you need to seize it, like the Page of Swords. So, it all starts with establishing those boundaries, Sagi, being firm, being strong, hearing that wake-up call, being ready for final judgment in whatever form it takes, being ready to release that load, to reflect and heal, and that's when the new progress, the new opportunities come in for you. Okay, Sagi, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I wish you all the best with it this week. Do keep in mind it's a general reading, so it won't be for every one of you guys. Feel free to leave me a comment, because I always love to know who this resonates for and how it unfolds in your daily life. And I'll see you back here next week for another reading.